Hey, and welcome to the bonus on Next Level Launching, 4 simple tweaks that you can make to your launch to take it to the next level. Now, before we dive in, I want to address a couple of things real quick. Number one, this is an audio-based training, but there is a download of a cheat sheet so you can get an at-a-glance of everything that I'm covering. I went back and forth, but I thought this one is a great audio training, and when coupled with the cheat sheet, it all comes together really well. Plus, we're also going to make it downloadable as an audio so that you're able to listen to this bonus on the go. So that's the first thing. So if you're not seeing any movement on your screen and you're watching this in the video section, just know it's an audio-based training, so you're not going to see any changes, and that's totally cool. I would recommend downloading the cheat sheet and following along with that. The second thing is, I'm going to cover some things that we do that help us bring our launches kind of to the next level. And something that's really important to realize about that is if you haven't launched yet, or you're just going through the 5-figure challenge for the first time, or you've never really done a big successful launch or a launch that you would consider to the level that you'd like it to be at, what I would recommend is that you hold up, do a simple launch first, and then you can come back at any time and start to add these things on. These are little tweaks that make a big difference, but they do take some time to implement and use correctly. So that being said, let's dive into the 4 tweaks that I use to take my launches to the next level. So the first one is mid-launch bonuses that allow us to encourage more sales by simply dripping in additional bonuses into our course or your coaching offer or whatever you're selling. And in my mind, there's really 3 main kinds of mid-launch bonuses. There's limited time bonuses, objection-based bonuses, and future live classes. Now, limited time bonuses are bonuses that you release only for a certain period of time. So these can be things like when the cart opens, if you buy in the first 24 hours, you get a bonus. Or think fast action bonuses. If you do like a live stream or you do a webinar and you want to sell something for those that buy in the next 30 minutes. You can also do in the middle of a launch, maybe you offer a bonus that's available for 48 hours. We've done that as well. The key thing is that limited time bonuses are bound by a specific deadline that people must adhere to in order to get them. So unlike bonuses that we put in our course, this is a way that we can leverage a bonus as an additional scarcity factor. And like I talk about inside the core curriculum of the 5-figure challenge, scarcity factors do play a real role in successful launches. Now, the second type are objection-based bonuses. And as I move from the first one to the third one, you'll notice that these can kind of stack up. So a limited time bonus is what it is, but it can also be an objection-based bonus. So an objection-based bonus is a bonus that you release specifically designed to overcome one of the reasons you believe people may not buy your offer. So to give you an example from this very course, one of the core objections that we get from the 5-figure challenge is, well, a challenge won't work for me because I don't have a list yet. And so what we did was we created an objection-based bonuses on 5 ways to grow your list. Now, that bonus in our first launch was also a limited time bonus because it was only available for 2 days during the launch. And then it also was overcoming an objection. So as we were going through the launch, we released it a couple of days in. We said, if you buy in the next 48 hours, you're going to get this list building class. And just like that, we had a limited time objection-based bonus. Okay. Now, something to keep in mind with a mid-launch bonus like that is, let's say that your launch starts Monday and you release that bonus on Thursday. Anybody that's bought up to that point should be included with the bonus to keep it kosher. Okay. And then finally, we have future live classes, which can be just that, or they can also be a limited time bonus and an objection-based bonus. So if you find that you're in the middle of a launch and people aren't being responsive, or you're hitting a major objection that you want to overcome with a bonus, or you just want to see a boost in sales, but you don't have time to create a bonus, you can create a future live class. And we've done that before as well. And basically what you do is you offer the promise of, if you join, 2 months from now, I'm going to do a live class with you. Now, here's the thing that you have to remember. You might be like, well, why would people sign up for a live class? Isn't that kind of like a webinar. Well, you want to paint this live class as a really great opportunity because in reality it is. Unlike a webinar or unlike a masterclass that you would normally do, you're not going to sell them anything at the end. This is just a pure value-based live class. And because it's only paid students, it's a smaller audience, and you can tell them, with a smaller audience, we're able to answer more specific questions and create content specifically for you. So a live class is a really great way to make a limited time objection-based bonus while you're in the middle of your launch if you're too busy to create a new bonus. And you can sell it as, we're going to do a live class just with you, pitch free, and it'll be based on what you need. Now, of course, I would still give it a title and a topic, but that's a really great way to go. So again, mid-launch bonuses that are limited time bonuses, objection-based bonuses, or future live classes, or a combination of the three are a really great way to boost your sales. So let's head over to point number 2, which is the post-launch survey. Now, after your launch ends and you close the cart, we've started doing something that I learned from Ryan Levesque. It's something he teaches inside of his book, The Ask Method. I've worked with several people in my mastermind, and I've learned from several people. So I always like to share that I learned this strategy and adopted it a few different ways from different places. But basically, what you do is when your launch is over, you send people an email that lets them click on one of 4 links about why they didn't buy. So you simply send out an email that can say something like, I noticed you didn't buy and I was wondering if I could ask you why with just one click. The key here is to have 4 main options. And the main options are usually not enough time, not enough money, not a good fit, or like if you're in a really niche specific, like, let's say you're selling a paleo program and you could say like, I'm not paleo. And then number 4 is other, and you want to ask them to reply. So those 4 objections come through, and what you can do, ConvertKit does this, is you can set it up so that they'll click on that link. It'll take them just straight to a thank you page, but it will note or tag them as clicking on that link. So for example, we send this out after some of our launches, and if everybody clicks not enough money, what that does is it tags them as clicked not enough money in email, in final survey email. You can then go back to these emails that you tagged, and you can use them for data research, which we love to do. We always save all of our other responses and go through the data before our next launch. But you can also go through these responses and use them to make more money on your launch. So if people say that they didn't have enough money, you can come back, 24 hours later with a downsell offer. You can offer them something that's cheaper. You can offer them a light version of the program. You can expand if you're doing payments. Let's say you have a 2-pay offer. You could cut the payments in half and make it a 4-pay offer so it's more affordable. Everybody has their own opinions about what works best. Some people don't like downselling to a light version after a program is over because they don't think that feels good. Other people don't mind that. Some people don't like lowering the payment terms. Other people don't mind. Again, the key is they're saying what you put in front of me was too many dollars. The opportunity is you can put something in front of them for less dollars that's in alignment with what feels good for you. If they say that they don't have any time, if you were offering them a live coaching program, you could sell a DIY version of a program that is not time-bound, or you could sell an intro-level course. So let's say if I was selling the 5-figure challenge and we're selling it for $1,000, and I say, oh, you're too busy for that. Well, why don't you check out my sales funnel course? It's a really great way to get started. It's only about an hour and a half of content. It's $97, but it's going to help you get some results with the limited amount of time you have, right? So if they don't have time, we want to give them the opportunity to opt into something that feels less time-bound that they can buy from us. And then finally, we take all of our other answers and we read them because that's a really, really, really great way to come up with additional offers. So if you're trying to come up with your next program, your next offer, your next digital course, your next service, those other surveys are going to tell you exactly why people didn't buy. And you will be surprised at how many people say, this is my biggest struggle right now and this didn't help with it. And so that other response allows you to collect some really awesome data, okay? So again, that second little launch tweak that you can make is a post-launch survey that you take the results and act on. Now, the third tweak that I love, this is one of my all-time favorite things that we've started doing, is what I call objection retargeting. And I think you might be able to hear Charles and Ted, my dogs, making a little noise in the background. So we want to do objection retargeting. And what I like to say is if you know why they don't buy, you can fix it before it's a problem. Now, what we have done in past launches is we create a blog post in advance of the launch or even during the launch that is around a specific objection. So let's just keep going with this list building objection because we're already talking about it. And I might create a blog post called 5 Ways a Challenge Can Build Your List. Then what I do is I take whatever product I'm selling, in this case, the 5-figure challenge, I create some images of the 5-figure challenge and I place them in that blog post and link them to the sales page, okay? Then what I do is I drive warm traffic, people who are part of the launch, I run ads to that blog post that they can see. So if I know that one of the core objections that my audience has is they don't think they have a big enough list, and I write a blog post that shows them how, whoa, a challenge can actually build your list, and then I spend a little money on ads to put it in front of them, with the ability to buy my course right from that blog post, it will convert to more buyers. Now, the good and the bad thing about this is it's really simple. We've seen that it's really effective. However, it does take time. It is an entire set of resources that you need to allocate for your launch, which is, again, why I recommend you don't go all out with the advanced launch tweaks. I recommend that you stay really simple first, and then you can always come back and add these. But if everything's ready for your launch in advance and you want to go back and drive traffic to a blog post to overcome an objection, you totally can. Now, one other thing that I want to note is if you're like, well, I'm just launching, but I still feel like I don't have a clear idea of what my objections are, or you feel like you've done a really good job with your objections in your bonuses or your emails or your launching, you might be like, well, I don't want to do an objection-based blog post. And there is an alternative, which is a case study. So you can do a case study of yourself or your student, but a case study is a really great way to essentially write a blog post that's kind of an advertisement, right? Because if you take one of your students as a case study or yourself as a case study, and you're putting in front of them and saying, listen, here's the power of whatever my offer is, it's essentially a great way to get a really well thought out, in-depth testimonial in front of them that answers a lot of questions, right? Because when we see a little blurb, like a 2 to 3 sentence testimonial, we don't get the whole picture. But if you have like a 2 to 3,000 word blog post that is a full-blown case study on all the work that someone has done, think about how that might convert, okay? So again, number 3, we retarget people with a blog post designed to overcome an objection, or that's an in-depth case study and allows us to get in front of them and share with them what's possible with our offer, okay? Now, the final launch tweak is something that I feel like not enough people tap into, and this is just a personal opinion of mine, but I think that more people should tap into this, and it's what I call my top student strategy. Now, the reality is it's not so much a strategy as it is a few extra steps. And it's really, really simple, but like I said, I think it's underutilized, and all it really entails is reaching out to maybe 5 to 10 of your top students in the past, if you've launched the program before, or even if you have one-on-one clients or you've ever worked with somebody, and simply inviting them to be part of high impact pieces of your launch. So with the 5-figure challenge, that might be like your sales live stream. If you're doing webinars, that would be when you sell on the webinar. If you're doing a 5-day challenge, you may invite some of your top students. You could say like, hey, I would love it if you could come in the group for a week and kind of engage with the challenge and share your results. Or, when the cart opens for your program, ask them to comment on that post and share how much they enjoyed the program. You see, the thing is, people really resonate with people that they consider similar to them. And as you try to become the expert, people kind of start to feel a little bit divided from you. And that's something that you have to be aware of, right? On some level, when I pitch a product, people view me as having a different outlook or ability because of the size of my business. And the reality is that's fair, right? I have more resources and freedom in my business than people who might just be starting out to find me. And so if I'm asking them to trust me solely on my word, it's going to be hard to convince everyone, right? But if we take people who are just like them, right, in their eyes, just like them, and have them saying good things about our program, we're more likely to convert, right? And essentially what this is very similar to like the before and afters you see on an infomercial. The reason before and afters work are, number one, because you're selling the transformation, but number two, because people relate to the before. They go, wow, that's me now, and that's where I could be. So by asking your top students to engage with your launch in a capacity that serves you and serves your audience, they're going to go, oh, wow, well, if, Kristen got these results and Kristen was just like I was just a couple of months ago, I can see how this is possible. Bringing in top students, that's what that does. It lifts that veil of murkiness and allows them to see what is truly possible for them based on where they are right now. Now, you might be wondering, how do I do this? I do this several different ways. Number one, I pay attention to who my top students are. And if you do affiliate marketing, that's a really great way to get them involved. So if you let people refer your program for a commission, they are way, 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 way more likely to be like, yes, I will 100% endorse your launch, right? Another way is to simply, if you have a private community for your digital course or digital offer, or even your one-on-one clients, sometimes I'll just throw a post that says, hey, tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be at the pitch phase of my webinar. Here is a direct link to join the webinar. I would really appreciate it if you could comment. Or I might come in and I might post a link in the group that says, hey, if you could click right here and comment on this Facebook post saying how much you've gotten out of this program, I would really, really appreciate it. That's a really great way to do it. And of course, you can always invite them to engage in different ways. You can send them an email, you can reach out one-on-one, but I think the easiest way is to, number one, identify a few of your top students and reach out to them personally, possibly as affiliates. If you're not doing affiliates, you can still ask them. Believe it or not, if you've gotten results for people, they'll want to support you and share those results with the world. Number two, post in that Facebook group. And then number three, don't be afraid to use your other channels, whether social media, email, or one-on-one. All right. So just to recap these 4 really simple launch tweaks and wrap up this little audio training for you. Number one, we have mid-launch bonuses that allow us to drip bonuses throughout our launch and encourage more sales using limited time bonuses, objection-based bonuses, and if we need a bonus but we don't have time, we can always do a future live class. Number 2 is the post-launch survey, which is something that, again, I've learned from the Ask Method by Ryan Levesque. There is a much more in-depth training you can check out from him, or you can get Ask is the name of the book on Amazon. But the core thing is we ask them why they didn't buy, and we use that data to put another offer in front of them, or simply use it to create a future offer. Number 3 is objection retargeting, creating an objection-based blog post or a case study blog post, putting an image of the product we're in the middle of launching within that blog post and driving traffic there, linking it back to our sales page so that we're showing people exactly how our program solves their problem. All right. And then number 4, we have the top student strategy, which is simply asking your top students to come into high impact pieces of your launch so that they can showcase exactly what the transformation looks like and show your students or your potential customers that, yes, I too can do that. I can see myself in the position of these students who have been where I was and now they're successful. So those are your 4 launch tweaks to get even more sales. Again, remember this is an audio-based training, so if you're watching the video, make sure you download this audio so you can listen at your leisure. And there is a cheat sheet for you because I know how much it sucks when all it is in audio. Sometimes you want something tangible or readable, and that's why we created a cheat sheet for you that's about 4 pages that goes in depth into each of these pieces. So don't forget to grab your cheat sheet, review it, and I cannot wait to see you out there tweaking, changing, and up-leveling your launches.